What makes Luka Doncic so good? People talk about his passing,
left-handed, okey-doke.
his step backs,
To be productive offensively and keep
being able to score at all three levels.
Team, it just feels like they're still they're not entirely certain what they are.
Yo, what's up? My name is Reuben Rangi, and I break down plays, players, and team concepts in this new series. Alright guys, I need your help with this one. Leave a comment below of what you think I should name the series. And the series is going to be brought to you by FIBA. Luka has proven time and time again that you don't need a crazy handle package to be effective at the top level. Luka uses 2 or 3 moves max, but he has simplified his one-on-one reads to beat the best defenders in the world. Alright, before we get to Luka, what is Luka seeing on the court in this position? There's a few things for me. Luka can see a huge lane head of the basket, but the one person that can plug this lane is Tiemann. But Tiemann is put in 2 minds because Toby is looking to back cut and he's a lob threat. Secondly, I love this spacing from Slovenia. Low man steps up, then low has to help. If low has to help the low man, then Schroeder has to help low. And if the low man is late, Luka shoots. Back to Luka. What is Luka's read on this possession? Like we talked about, he has all of the space to his right hand, and when using his famous hang dribble, the defense crowds his space, giving him an angle to attack downhill. Again, before we look at Luka, let's look at Slovenia's spacing. If I could nitpick one thing, I would put Dragic further down into that corner. Like we saw in the last clip, Luka is so good at getting downhill when the defense crowds his space. So Luka's read on this possession is, when he goes between the legs here, if the defense retreats or gives him space, then he gets to his famous step back. So here's 2 in-game examples of those exact 2 reads that Luka used in those previous clips. Firstly, let's look at the spacing again. Looks pretty similar, but the defense is actually trying to send Luka to the middle. As you can see, Bisul is loading over to provide help to his teammate, but Nikola will back cut to empty Bisul from the nail help, giving Luka enough of a gap to potentially drive. So what does Luka do? Luka gets the same hang dribble, but the defender doesn't crowd his space, so he snatches the ball. But it's not until that snatch that the defender crowds his space. So he counters between the legs. And now that you can see the full clip, you can see how perfect the timing of the back cut was. It cleared out Bisul so that Luka could get downhill. Here's the second clip from that same game. So Luka's reading that last clip. Defender crowds his space, he takes the drive. What do we think is going to happen in this one? Before we get to that, we have another back cut that flattens out the defense, making the defender guarding the ball feel like he's on an island. So what do you think? Luka goes back to the hang dribble, but in this clip, the defender has to respect the downhill pressure, giving Luka enough time to get to that step back 3. So the read here is, the defender drop and give you space on the move, you shoot the ball. As a defender, being able to crowd space and speed up the ball handler is one of your main objectives. But what Luka does so well is he is patient in the pocket. Where most players would be sped up to make a decision, he slows down. Let's take a look at some of the clips. So here's what I mean by patience in the pocket. When Luka has this lane to drive, most players would try get up on the hoop as quick as they can. But on Luka's gather step, he slows right down, throwing the defender's timing off and giving him time to make a calculated decision. So it's the learning here. When you have a lane, slow down. Try to take up space between you and your defender. You'll either get a foul or score, or even seeing a shooter on the weak side. Luka is so good at getting to his spots. He doesn't mind using pivots and pump fakes to make the defender bite. And as a defender, this is so hard to guard because Luka is so good at scoring at all 3 levels. Luka slows down in the pocket to make this pass, but what is he seeing in this position? Firstly, the on-ball gives Luka a slight advantage on Dillon Brooks, making Canada's whole team pull in to help. But let's just focus on the backside. What the heck is the backside, bro? The backside is anyone opposite the ball. So what is he seeing? Firstly, Shea or the low man stepping up, and then secondly, RJ Barrett in the helper or the crackdown position, and then we have Olynyk in the take 2 position. So what are we reading? We're reading, does the low man step up? If so, has the crackdown man done his job? Then our read is to find a shooter on the weak side and put the take 2 man in a sticky situation. Throwing different coverages at one of the best players in the world would be every team's game plan. So I guess he's seen it all. Luka is a coverage solution genius. Let's take a look at some of his clips. Let's take a look and see what makes Luka a coverage solution genius. Quick one before we start looking at these coverages. Luka does a great job at always testing the reject, sometimes getting him a wide open shot, but for the most part, it sets his man up. It gives him a buffer so that when the on-ball screener comes, he already has an advantage. So as you can see in this clip, Cape Verde are in a drops coverage. And because Luka demands so much attention, the nail tag and the low man are in to help out. The nail tag's job is to tag the roller to slow him up so the big man can keep him in front. But what happens in this clip is the nail tag misses, which we call an air tag, giving Toby a free lane to the hoop and putting Tavares in a sticky situation. How does Luka make this read? Luka knows he has the advantage on his man and sees Tavares overcommit.
Come over.
The drops coverage is a two-man game.
Here's another clip from the same game. Again, Cape Verde are in the drops coverage, but they have a loaded backside. Because Cape Verde have a loaded backside, it means the nail help can sit and make Luka pick up the ball. But because Luka demands so much attention, Tavares has to step up, giving up the lob over the top. Interesting. So, why don't teams just guard him aggressively? Let's look at an aggressive coverage. Here we see Venezuela in an aggressive switch. Luka is preparing for this now. He can see Chorio is getting ready to jump out. So when Toby gets to the on-ball screen and forces the switch, Luka counters or splits the defense and gets all the way to the rim. Maybe we could switch, but not aggressively. And then that's when Luka takes the shot. Okay. I think I got it. What if we throw 3 different coverages at him? Surely he can't beat us that way. Alright, let's take a look at Luka playing against Australia. Australia guarded him with 3 different coverages. Now, Australia might have different rules or different coverages for different lineups, but Luka seems unfazed. This first clip, Australia show Luka a quick show. What is a quick show? A quick show would be a mix between a hard show and a drops. Quick shows pair very well with a hard show, but that might be for another video. Back to the coverage. Luka can see Nick K getting ready to jump out, but with the quick show, you fake the hard show and you drop back into a drop. Unfortunately, my boy Nick K got stuck too high for too long, and Luka found his best buddy, Toby. Hold up. But shouldn't Patty Mills or Joe Ingles help on that pass? Yes. But Luka does a good job of using his eyes. He holds Patty Mills and Joe Ingles off just enough to get that pass through. What's your old coaches saying? Fake a pass to make a pass? Well, Luka faked with his eyes. The second coverage Australia used was the switching coverage. Jack White actually does a great job here. Squeezes or hulks Toby into the screen so that Toby can't slip or get him behind the head of Matisse Thybulle. But sometimes you just gotta tip your hat. Australia does everything right. Jack White hulking, Matisse with the clean switch, Daniels in the low man, and Joe Ingles ready to crack down. But Luka just makes a hectic shot. The third and final way Australia guard Luka in the on-ball. This coverage is super aggressive. Like Australia doing here, they're putting 2 on the board to try get the ball out of Luka's hand. But something intrigued me about this play. Slovenia run a double drag to a Spain action. So technically Joe Ingles should be the low man if Propelic stays in the corner. But Propelic comes up to set a Spain screen, pulling Joe Ingles out of the low man. But who should be the low man at the point of the screen? Unfortunately, it's Josh Green. So when Luka comes off, Toby is wide open under the hoop. This puts pressure on Josh Giddey, which most coaches say never to help off the strong side corner. But in this case, he kind of had to. And now we're back to that saying, fake a pass to make a pass. Luka sounds like he's going to throw it to Toby and finds the corner shooter. Ding, 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 ding. Bonus round. Here we have France in an ice coverage. Reuben, what is an ice coverage? An ice coverage is when the on-ball defender tries to keep the ball sidelined and then the big man is just in a drops coverage. Now this is what a tag looks like. Anyway, a way to beat the drops coverage or an ice is by using the Gortat screen. What is a Gortat screen? A Gortat screen is when the ball handler, Luka here, gets the advantage, then he has to maintain the advantage by keeping the defender on his back, and then the rolling big will set another screen on Rudy Gobert at the hoop. This just opens up the lane for a free layup. And that just about covers everything that I think makes Luka one of the best in the world. If you like this video, go like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification. Trust me, you won't want to miss these videos. And you can stay up to date with everything FIBA.